First contact deception. The observation deck of Luna Base Alpha offered the best view of Earth in the solar system. Commander Ilara Reyes stood with her hands clasped behind her back, watching the blue marble that was humanity's cradle. 50 years had passed since the Proxima Centauri incident, when humanity had discovered they weren't alone in the universe. 50 years of preparation in absolute secrecy. Status report, Ilara said, not turning from the viewport. Colonel Marcus Chen approached, offering a data tablet. Project Nightfall is at 98% readiness, Commander. The last of the Jupiter array came online yesterday. The Mars defense grid is operational. All 372 orbital platforms are in position and cloaked. And the fleet. All 500,000 vessels are in standby mode, hidden throughout the system as planned. The Arcturus and the Orion are running final crew drills. Admiral Okonkwo reports full tactical readiness. Ilara nodded, satisfaction evident in her steel-gray eyes. The public remains unaware. Yes, Commander. As far as the citizens of Earth know, we're still sending primitive chemical rockets to the International Space Station and dreaming of Mars colonies. The facade holds. It has to, Ilara replied. According to the Proximan data, the Vexari Dominion scouts systems for precisely what we appear to be. Emerging civilizations with valuable resources, but insufficient defenses. They've conquered 67 worlds this way. Sensors are detecting unusual activity at the heliopause. Chen's comm unit chirped with the alert. Multiple objects entering the solar system at FTL velocities. Ilara's expression hardened. And so it begins. Inform the Security Council. Initiate Protocol Sleeping Giant. Admiral Zorn of the Vexari Dominion stood on the command platform of the dreadnought Inevitable Conquest, his four arms manipulating holographic controls while his secondary eyes monitored status reports. The primary invasion fleet, 3,000 warships strong, had just dropped out of FTL at the edge of the primitive system. Scan complete. Admiral, reported Sub-Commander Vex, her cranial ridges pulsing with blue bioluminescence. Third planet from the star shows significant life signatures. Approximately 8 billion sentients. Technological assessment confirms intelligence but limited space presence. Primitive chemical propulsion. Rudimentary satellites. No energy shields detected. No quantum weapons. Minimal threat assessment. Zorn's mouthparts clicked in satisfaction. Perfect. Another easy acquisition for the Dominion. Have we been detected? Negative, Admiral. Their scanning technology is far too primitive to detect our ships at this distance. Deploy scouting vessels. I want detailed resource assessments before we make our presence known. Scout ships streak toward the inner system, their advanced stealth technology making them invisible to what the Vexari believed were Earth's most sophisticated detection systems. They scattered throughout the system, cataloging resources and defenses. Admiral, Vex called out, her voice betraying confusion. Something is strange about this system. Explain. There's an unusual disparity between their technological capabilities. Their orbital infrastructure appears primitive, but power signatures from the planet itself are inconsistent. Some readings suggest capabilities beyond their apparent development stage. Zorn dismissed her concerns with a wave of his lower arms. Likely natural phenomena your sensors are misinterpreting. These primitives barely understand nuclear fission. As you say, Admiral, begin intimidation protocol. Move the fleet into visual range of their planet. Let them see the futility of resistance before we even fire a shot. The Vexari fleet surged forward, spreading into a formation designed to maximize psychological impact when viewed from the planet below. In the Oval Office, the President of the United States leaned forward, watching the secure feed from Luna Base Alpha. Around her sat the Joint Chiefs of Staff and the Secretary of Defense. They've taken the bait, Commander Reyes reported from the screen. Vexari fleet is approaching Earth in standard intimidation formation. Their scans show they believe our deception. How many ships? The President asked. 3,000, Madam President. Exactly as the Proximans warned us. They always send enough to make resistance seem impossible, but not their full force. It saves resources. And our countermeasures. Ready at your command. The moment they enter Earth orbit, we can spring the trap. The President nodded gravely. Very well. Maintain sleeping giant protocol. Let them believe we are helpless until the last possible moment. The first Vexeri ships entered Earth orbit 24 hours later. Massive vessels, each the size of a small city, they positioned themselves over major population centers: New York, Beijing, London, Moscow, New Delhi. Earth's response appeared chaotic and disorganized. Military jets scrambled but kept their distance. News broadcasts showed panicked citizens. World leaders issued desperate pleas for calm. It was exactly what the Vexeri expected from a primitive civilization facing superior forces. Admiral Zorn watched with satisfaction as a transmission came through from Earth's United Nations. This is Secretary General Lai of the United Nations. We wish to discuss terms of surrender to prevent unnecessary loss of life. Zorn's 4 eyes blinked in sequence, a gesture of amusement. How predictable. Patch me through. The Admiral's imposing visage appeared on screens worldwide. His alien features, the 4 articulated arms, the ridge of sensitive spines along his skull, the vertical slit pupils, were designed to intimidate species across the galaxy. People of Earth, Zorn began, his words translated into hundreds of languages simultaneously. I am Admiral Zorn of the Vexari Dominion. Your planet is now under our control. Resistance is pointless and will result in significant casualties. Accept your new place in the Dominion, and your transition will be tolerable. The Secretary General's response seemed appropriately fearful. We request a diplomatic meeting to discuss terms. Admiral. Granted. Prepare a reception area in your United Nations building. I will arrive with my delegation in 12 hours. After the transmission ended, Sub-Commander Vex approached cautiously. Admiral, our scouts report unusual activity in several Earth oceans, possible submarine movements. Their primitive underwater vessels pose no threat to us. Zorn dismissed. Prepare my shuttle and honor guard for the surrender ceremony. In the hidden command center 2 miles beneath the United Nations building, Commander Ilara Rice watched Admiral Zorn's shuttle descend toward Manhattan. All defense grids standing by, Colonel Chen reported. Orbital platforms armed. Lunar cannons locked. The Jupiter array is charged and targeting the Vexeri fleet. Fleet commanders report ready, added General Santos. 500,000 ships await your order to decloak. Ilara nodded. Let's welcome our visitors properly, shall we? Execute Phase 1. Admiral Zorn stepped from his shuttle onto the grounds of the United Nations, flanked by 12 Vexeri warriors in gleaming battle armor. A pitiful honor guard of human soldiers stood at attention, their primitive projectile weapons symbolic of Earth's technological inferiority. The Secretary General bowed slightly. Welcome to Earth, Admiral. We are prepared to discuss terms. There is little to discuss, Zorn replied coldly. The Dominion requires your world's resources. Your people will be relocated to designated habitation zones. Those with useful skills will be permitted to serve the Dominion. The rest will. A strange vibration interrupted him. The ground beneath his feet hummed with energy. Around the plaza, what had appeared to be ordinary buildings began to transform, panels sliding away to reveal sophisticated energy weapons that swiveled to target the Vexari delegation. What is the meaning of this? Zorn demanded, his hand moving toward his sidearm. The Secretary General's expression changed from subservient to coldly confident. Admiral Zorn, allow me to introduce Commander Ilara Reyes, Earth Defense Force. Ilara stepped forward from the honor guard, removing the ceremonial uniform to reveal the sleek combat armor beneath. Admiral, on behalf of humanity, I must inform you that your scans of our planet were incomplete. Zorn's communicator erupted with urgent alerts. Across his fleet, Commanders reported energy spikes from Earth's surface, from its oceans, from its moon. Weapon systems far beyond what should exist on a pre-FTL world. Impossible, Zorn hissed. Your species doesn't possess this level of technology. Actually, Ilara replied with a thin smile. We've had help. You see, you're not the first advanced civilization to discover Earth. But unlike the Proximans, who came in peace 50 years ago, you came to conquer. Overhead, the sky changed. What had appeared to be empty space shimmered as thousands of orbital weapons platforms deactivated their cloaking fields. And beyond them, the impossible ships, human ships. Not dozens or hundreds, but thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, 500,000 warships, Ilara stated calmly. Each one built with Proximan assistance, but improved by human innovation. We've been expecting you, Admiral. For half a century, we've been preparing. Zorn stared in disbelief as the full magnitude of the deception became clear. Earth hadn't been a primitive, defenseless world at all. It had been a trap. Ilara's next words were broadcast to every Vexeri vessel in the system. You have two options, Admiral. Immediate withdrawal from our solar system, or the complete destruction of your fleet. You have 5 minutes to decide. The trap had been sprung. Humanity's deception revealed. And the battle for Earth was about to begin. Humanity unleashed. Admiral Zorn's 4 hands clenched into fists as he stared at the human commander. His mind raced through tactical assessments and cultural implications. The Vexeri Dominion had never retreated, not in 8 centuries of expansion. You believe your deception grants you victory. Zorn snarled. 3,000 Vexeri warships still orbit your world. Each carries planet-killer weaponry. We will turn your cities to ash before surrendering. Commander Ilara Reyes remained impassive. Your ships are already targeted by the Jupiter array. 23 gravitational manipulation platforms that can tear your vessels apart at the molecular level. Technology the Proximans shared after your Dominion destroyed their homeworld. For the first time in his military career, uncertainty flickered across Zorn's features. The Proximans survived, he whispered. More than survived, Ilara replied. They found allies. Us. Above them, the sky darkened as Earth's hidden fleet fully decloaked. 500,000 warships of human design enhanced with Proximan technology. The vessels varied in size and configuration, a testament to humanity's innovative spirit. Unlike the uniform Vexeri ships, each Earth vessel showed distinct characteristics, some sleek and predatory, others massive and fortress-like. Zorn's communicator crackled with panicked reports from his fleet. Weapons were powering up across Earth's surface. Massive cannons emerged from the lunar surface. Energy readings spiked from Mars, Jupiter's moons, and throughout the asteroid belt. Admiral, Sub-Commander Vex's voice came through. We're detecting additional vessels emerging from hyperspace at the system's edge. They appear to be Proximan design. Zorn's eyes widened. The Proximans, a species the Dominion had believed exterminated 20 years ago, had not only survived but had armed Earth as a trap for the inevitable Vexari expansion. This is your final warning, Ilara stated. Withdraw or be destroyed. Pride and 8 centuries of Vexeri military doctrine made Zorn's decision for him. The Dominion does not retreat. Open fire. Space around Earth erupted in blinding energy exchanges. Vexeri warships launched devastating attacks toward the planet, only to have their weapons intercepted by layered defense shields that hadn't existed moments before. In response, Earth's orbital platforms fired precision beam weapons that sliced through Vexeri shields with surprising efficiency. The human fleet moved with unexpected coordination, executing battle maneuvers that confused Vexeri tactical systems accustomed to predictable enemy formations. From her command center beneath the United Nations, Ilara directed the battle alongside her staff. Holographic displays showed the conflict unfolding across the solar system. Jupiter array is operational, reported Colonel Chen, targeting Vexeri command vessels. On the main display, strange distortions appeared around the largest Vexari ships. Space itself seemed to fold and compress around them, crushing hulls as if they were made of paper. Earth Defense Grid reports 67% effectiveness, another officer called out. Vexari weapons largely neutralized. Ilara frowned at one section of the display. They're adapting to our Jupiter array. Redirect power to the Mars platforms. Inform Admiral Okonkwo to execute Maneuver Thunderbolt. Across the solar system, hundreds of human vessels that had been hiding in Mars orbit suddenly accelerated toward the main Vexari fleet. Unlike the measured, predictable tactics of most spacefaring civilizations, human ships employed what appeared to be chaos, unpredictable vector changes, randomized attack patterns, sacrificial feints that opened opportunities for devastating strikes. On the bridge of the inevitable conquest, Admiral Zorn struggled to comprehend the battle unfolding around him. Vexari tactics relied on overwhelming force and psychological domination, strategies useless against an enemy that had anticipated their every move. "How are they predicting our attack vectors?" he demanded. Sub-Commander Vex studied her displays with growing alarm. "Unknown, Admiral. Their vessels move in patterns our computers cannot predict. And these weapons, they're similar to Proximant technology, but different. Enhanced. The humans have improved Proximant designs," Zorn realized aloud. "They've created hybrid technology." A massive explosion rocked the dreadnought as a concentrated barrage from 3 human cruisers penetrated their forward shields. "Hull breach on decks 7 through 12. A tactical officer reported. "We've lost 20% of our weapons capacity." Zorn made a decision. Deploy the singularity cannons. Target their largest population centers. If we cannot win conventionally, we will make Earth uninhabitable. The inevitable conquest's main weapon began charging, a devastating device capable of creating localized black holes. It was the Dominion's ultimate weapon, used only in the most desperate circumstances. "Singularity weapon detected," announced a sensor officer on Earth's command center. "Target appears to be East Asia. Charging time estimated at 30 seconds. Ilara's expression remained calm. "Activate the Artemis Protocol." From Luna Base Alpha, a previously dormant weapon system activated. A massive cannon built into the lunar surface and powered by fusion reactors hidden beneath the moonscape locked onto the Vexari flagship. "Artemis ready," reported General Santos. "Firing solution confirmed." "Fire," Ilara ordered. The moon itself seemed to flash as a concentrated beam of energy, a combination of Proximant phase technology and human innovations in particle acceleration, struck the inevitable conquest. The beam passed through the dreadnought's shields as if they didn't exist, striking precisely where the singularity weapon was charging. The resulting explosion tore the massive vessel in half. The singularity weapon's energy released in a catastrophic but contained detonation that consumed a third of the Vexari fleet but spared Earth from collateral damage. The battle lasted 6 hours. When it ended, the once mighty Vexari invasion force had been reduced to 87 damaged vessels, surrounded by Earth's intact defense grid and overwhelming fleet. In the United Nations chamber, Admiral Zorn, rescued from his destroyed flagship, stood before a council of Earth's leaders and military commanders. "The terms are non-negotiable," Commander Ilara stated. "The Vexari Dominion will recognize Earth and the entire Sol system as sovereign territory. You will acknowledge humanity as an equal spacefaring civilization with all associated rights under galactic law. You will provide reparations to the Proximant survivors. And you will open your borders to free trade with all species you've previously subjugated." Zorn's pride warred with his survival instinct. "And if I refuse?" Ilara's expression remained neutral. "Then none of your remaining ships leaves this system. The Dominion never learns what happened to its invasion fleet. And in 6 months, when they send reinforcements, they'll face the same trap. But with even less favorable odds for your side. You would start a galactic war," Zorn said, disbelief in his voice. No, Admiral. You did. When you invaded a peaceful system without provocation, we're simply ending it before it can spread. After a long moment, Zorn lowered his head slightly, the closest gesture to submission in Vexari culture. I accept your terms, Commander. 1 year later, Commander Ilara Rice stood on the observation deck of the newly commissioned Earth diplomatic vessel Handshake, watching as it approached the massive space station that served as the seat of the Galactic Concord. Representatives from 200 spacefaring civilizations awaited humanity's formal introduction to the interstellar community. Nervous? Asked Admiral Okonkwo, who stood beside her. A little, Ilara admitted. Defending Earth was the easy part. Building something lasting with hundreds of alien cultures. That's the real challenge. The Proximan ambassador believes we'll do well, Okonkwo noted. They say our greatest strength isn't our technology or even our military innovation. What is it then? The Admiral smiled. Our unpredictability. Most species evolve to follow patterns, to seek stability. Humans embrace chaos, thrive in uncertainty. It makes us unique. The massive space station loomed larger in the viewport as they approached. Hundreds of ships from dozens of civilizations moved in carefully regulated patterns around it. Earth's delegation, a small fleet of diplomatic and escort vessels, followed a completely different approach, adapting to traffic conditions with casual ease that astonished the station's traffic controllers. They thought Earth was powerless, Ilara murmured. They were wrong. But our greatest power wasn't our hidden fleet or our weapons. What was it? Asked the Admiral. Commander Ilara Rice smiled as the Earth delegation prepared to take its place among the stars. Our humanity. The stars awaited, and humanity, resourceful, unpredictable, indomitable humanity, was ready to meet them as equals.